Are in Brazil to kick off the 2025 NFL season. And first off, I would like to apologize for the timeliness of this upload. As anyone who has worked overnights can attest, I came home, I plugged in my phone, and I woke up several hours later. So I'm a little bit late on the upload for today, but we have some things to talk about, what to watch for the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Los Angeles Chargers in Brazil. So the first thing is obvious. The first thing that we want to keep an eye on in this game is very obvious. It's been an entire preseason in the making, and it is the left tackle position, and namely Josh Simmons. Khalil Mack is not an easy out for your first at bat, but if the rookie is going to prove to be a franchise left tackle, things are going to have to go well enough in this first game. I do not expect Josh Simmons to be perfect. I do not expect Josh Simmons to be the best Josh Simmons even that he can be today. Things are just so weird. Starting week one, being in Brazil, going against Khalil Mack, it is a division matchup. There are a lot of things on the table. If Josh Simmons can be good enough to be a average level left tackle in his first game in the NFL, things are going to go well enough for this Chiefs offense, and that's being down two wide receivers, which we will get to next. But if Josh Simmons can exceed expectations, if Josh Simmons can be the best Josh Simmons that he can be, if Josh Simmons can come in and be a good starting left tackle in week one, it will be an incredible portent for things to come for the Kansas City Chiefs. Number two, who steps up at wide receiver? This wide receiver core is so good that the Chiefs ended up keeping 8 on the roster. But they're down to 6 because Jalen Royals will not play, and Rashee Rice is obviously suspended. So you're going to see Juju Smith-Schuster at the X position. But will it be a ceremonial exercise as it has been in years past? Just having a bigger body out there at the X position for the Chiefs offense and for someone to run routes while Patrick Mahomes routinely targets other players. This part of the season is going to be trying for the Chiefs. Hopefully, Jalen Royals just misses one game. But this has been something that the Chiefs have dealt with for years in the past. And if they can overcome the X position not being ideal in this game, and they can, obviously they can, then it's going to mean that this first part of the season is not going to be quite so hard for the offense to move forward. And once Jalen Royals and Rashee Rice come back, they will be supercharged. Now, everyone wants Tyquan Thornton to shine, but he doesn't have to. We saw in the preseason he had one great big catch. If he can do that just once per game, things change for this offense. Things change for Patrick Mahomes. Things change for Isaiah Pacheco because that box is going to be lighter. There will be one safety at least up high as long as Tyquan Thornton is on the field. All he has to do, 140-yard catch. And I know, all he has to do in the NFL is 140-yard catch, blah, 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 blah. But if he can do that, if he can nail down 140-yard catch in this game, things change for the rest of the season for this offense. That is just a fact because that is someone that the Chiefs will be able to put on the field with Xavier Worthy on the field, with Hollywood Brown on the field, with these other speed demons on the field that will change things in the box. And Patrick Mahomes, though we have not seen him run as consistently in the regular season as he had in the past, and for good reason, right? He does have those ankle problems come, November. Patrick Mahomes will pull it, and he will get the first down if he has to. And if there are 4 defensive backs 20 yards downfield because Tyquan Thornton is on the field, Xavier Worthy is on the field, etc., then things become easier for this offense. This is about a snowball effect for the offense here in Kansas City. Xavier Worthy, what do we see from Xavier Worthy? Last year versus the Chargers, in the first game, he went off 3 receptions, 73 yards, and a touchdown. In the second game against the Chargers, however, he had 5 receptions, but for just 41 yards. Xavier does not have to have a big game. but he has to distract the defensive coordinator. That is what we're looking for from Xavier Worthy. It will be interesting also to see if this season he returns to running the football. We saw him run the football early in the year last year, namely that Ravens game, week 1. But then things kind of slowed down for him in the running game, and probably because the Chiefs simply could not afford for Xavier Worthy to get tackled hard and miss a couple games, right? So do we see Xavier Worthy run the football in this game as well? Now, if you're looking for a sneaky pick for a wide receiver to have a big game, look no further than Hollywood Brown. The top 2 corners will be occupied with Xavier Worthy and Juju. Juju, simply because he's playing the X receiver position, you have to put one of your top 2 corners on that guy, allowing Brown to get matchups versus one, Tarheeb Still, a large corner, but he's also a UDFA, and Hollywood Brown has been in the league for quite some time. He's going to know tricks of the trade to get open, and that UDFA Tarheeb Hill runs a 4.49. Now, if injuries have not taken the better part of Hollywood Brown's speed, he has a 4.27 40-yard dash, and he's going to put it on display. He will also likely get to line up at times against Benjamin St. Just, who runs just a 4.52. Also, he's Canadian. Now, I say that in jest, but if anyone is following politics in Canada, the United States might have a 51st, 52nd, and 53rd state on the way. So, Benjamin St. Just, welcome to the United States. Now, the final 2 players here that we're going to talk about, Nico Remigio and Jason Brownlee. They will get reps in this game. They're going to play the wide receiver position with both Rice and Royals out. What can they do to impress? Jason Brownlee obviously is going to, not obviously, I guess, but in my opinion, obviously going to get at least 1 target in the red zone, just to see. The Chiefs can gamble with 1 rep in this game, and Andy Reid does that sort of thing. Can you trust Jason Brownlee in the red zone? Can Patrick Mahomes throw that back shoulder fade and score 6 points just because someone with the catch radius of Jason Brownlee is on the field? Nico Remigio, as I have said many times on this channel, is a guy who will sell out for the reception. We have seen Chiefs wide receivers in the past, I'm not going to name names, Mecole Hardman, that simply do not sell out for the catch. If that ball is not put within what they think is their catch radius, they're not coming down with it. And Nico Remigio will. So he has an opportunity in this game, I think, to really cement the fact that he's not just a return specialist, that he is, in fact, an NFL player. And if he can do that, look, Nico Remigio, I think, is solidly on the Chiefs roster this season. Next season might bring different things. We don't know. I think that Nico Remigio has done enough in the return game, especially in the playoffs, to suggest that he's going to have a decent length NFL career. And he's going to want to prove himself at wide receiver because that lengthens that career even more. And he, I don't think, considers himself just a return guy. Now, what happens in the running game? This is going to be a very interesting test for the Kansas City Chiefs. Isaiah Pacheco is going to get his carries, and he's looked explosive so far this preseason, staying strong even after pulling a Gus Frerotte. But he has to eat in order, again, to set the tone for the rest of the season. The NFL will be watching this game, and if Mahomes suddenly has a running game to lean on, teams will get desperate, and they're going to try to sell out early in a game to get a lead because they don't want the Chiefs to have a 2-possession lead, right? 9 points. If the Chiefs have a 9-point lead and they get to lean on that running game, to run the clock out, Andy Reid will do that. One of the things that we have sort of become, I think, aggravated at in Kansas City is that Andy Reid refuses to step on anyone's throat. And I think that he wants to, but he wants to do that in a responsible fashion. The responsible fashion of stepping on a team's throat is just running the clock out. It's not taking a 50-yard bomb. It's running the clock out with Isaiah Pacheco or whoever is your number 1 running back and keeping the offense on the field, grinding the clock down. That is what Andy Reid wants to do, and we will probably learn in week 1 whether or not he will be able to do it this season. Now, Who has more action in this game? Kareem Hunt, or Mitchell? Who do I hope has more touches? Well, the answer might surprise you. I hope before the game, right? I hope that it is Mitchell, because if Mitchell has more carries than Hunt, it probably means that the offense does not have to score points, frankly. And I think that Kareem Hunt is going to be deadly late in the season if he can stay in shape that long. If he can, now I say, can he stay in the shape that long? That's because he's an older running back. So if you're able to save Kareem Hunt early in the season and use him more later in the season, in the postseason, hopefully in the Super Bowl, that is what you want to have the luxury of doing. Now, the last question at running back. Andy Reid is a master of bringing guys along and building them a role so that by the postseason, they're humming along. Brashard Smith, a rookie, a 7th-round rookie, is unlikely to make a major impact in this game. But I would bet everything that he has a couple of plays drawn up, that he has a carry, that he has a reception, or at least a target in this game, because he is going to be building a role during the course of this season. At the tight end position, there simply has to be more rotation. Travis Kelce is getting older. Travis Kelce is in what everyone expects to be his final season. He played 940 snaps last year. I don't think that's sustainable. I think you want him fresher by the time the playoffs come around. Can Wiley get on the field at tight end? If he can, and he can have a reception, the Chiefs have a building block for next season. I don't expect him to make a big impact this season. The Chiefs love to have 4 tight ends on the roster. Right now, he's tight end 4. Does Jawaan Taylor look better, or was he blowing smoke? The big revelation is that he had an injury last season. His knee was getting drained every week, and that poses a problem, obviously, for offensive tackles because they are pushing off of other very large human beings on every play. So, Jawaan Taylor, if he is fully healthy, and he missed a lot of time in training camp to get healthy, if he is healthy and he can look better than he did last season, and the Chiefs are better at left tackle than they were last season, whatever is going on at left guard will not matter. On defense, George Karlaftis is edge 1. Can anyone emerge as edge 2? Charles Omenihu, I think, is the odds-on favorite, and Mike Dana is solid. But between the two of them, someone has to emerge as edge 2 in order for this team's defense to take a step forward and get back into the top 5 in sacks this season. Now, Ashton Gillotte dominated versus number 2s and number 3s in the preseason. On one play, you probably remember, he tackled 3 guys, including the ball carrier. So if he can get more consistent versus the ones and make an impact there, that will be very good for this Chiefs defense because they will have a rotation at the defensive end position. What happens at cornerback? I think that this is an open question. The cornerback room on paper is the best probably that we have seen in this preseason. Did I skip something? I skipped something. Yeah, I skipped number 6. We'll get back to that. I apologize. Christian Fulton in shape? That is the main question there. He can play. Is he in shape? He missed a lot of time this preseason, and if he has his legs under him, it will do wonders for this defense. It is the regular season now, and that means Jalen Watson is trusted again, right? Every preseason, we seem to play this game with Jalen Watson where he is not being trusted. In this defense, he has players passing him on the depth chart, and the regular season comes and Jalen Watson just performs. The question with Trent McDuffie is not can he play? Obviously he can, but does he just follow Ladd McConkey during this game? If he does, it could eliminate the number 1 target for the Chargers offense. Noel Williams looked fierce in the preseason, but how much will he play here in week 1? Now I skipped number 6, getting back to that, Umar Norman a lot. He looks bigger. Does he still have some pop? We have not seen him play very much in the preseason. Hopefully he gets his reps here in week 1. Hopefully we see what it is that he offers this defense, and hopefully it is some pass rush juice. If he and Ashton Gillotte can be the players that they were drafted to be, the Kansas City Chiefs defense will look worlds better against the pass than it did last season. That is all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate this sort of thing, hitting the like button really does help me out. There are 2 playlists and a video on your screen right now that YouTube thinks you will enjoy from this channel about the Kansas City Chiefs, because they're all that I talk about on this channel. And as always, I hope to have you back for the next one.